But when has it been in Libra? Yeah, this is the hint with called Sodom and Egypt, or got the name from Sodom and Egypt. These signatures here, they are from ancient times. They come even from after flood times. So, Sodom times. But as we will see it, they come also from Egypt times. And both times are not exactly the same. So before we go on to check out the times that we know from the table of Jesus' time, I want to bring you back to a time far, far away in the past, to Sodom's time. Yeah, and you know all the great Orion cycle study, where we also have found out the times of the great clock of God, that the flood was in 2381 BC, and I did some research with ChatGPT, and then the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah would have occurred approximately 1989 BC. Now, if we take this date and go back to it, 1989, that would be 88. Then where has the equinox point been? Look at that. It has been exactly in Libra. You see? So therefore it has this sign. The Sodomites would have given, the Canaanites, the Sodomites would have given in their time the equinox point the sign of Libra. And this is where it comes from. This naming comes from, spiritually, from Sodom. Yeah? And here we have in the birthday of Jesus, we have in Libra the sun and the moon in Virgo. So it's one side of the open square. But it's open. Let's look where we find the other points. Okay, this fits also. Indeed, this is the sign of Capricornus. Fits also still to Sodom. Okay, here we have an open part. We know that the other equinox point here should be in Pisces, but is not. Where is it? It is in, now we have a problem. It is still in Taurus in Sodom's time, and not in Aries, but this sign here is of Aries. When that would come to Aries, then Sodom was already destroyed. What is about this solstice point? Normally Gemini. Oh, that was in Leo, but has the sign of Cancer. So we have 2 points correct in Sodom's time, but we still need to go forward in time to Egypt's time. Now, what is the most famous date that we know from Egypt? Of course, it is the Exodus. When did the Exodus happen? It was 1446, and in this case 45 BC, as I showed you in the study about the Great Orion Clock. And what do you see all of a sudden? This solstice point has changed location from Leo to Cancer, and all of a sudden, spiritually, the Egypts have given this sign, the Cancer sign, to their solstice point. And we go back to see if we have now also moved the Aries sign into the right location. From here it was still in Taurus in Sodom's time, but now it has moved in the Exodus time from Egypt, it has moved to Aries. Isn't that incredible? And now when you look at all these things and put together these two possible constellations always, so we have Aries, and today we have it in Pisces. So that's one side of the open square. Nothing in Aquarius, open. Then we have this point, Capricornus, was wandering from here to here in our time, right? So this is the second side of the open square. Then Scorpius, nothing. Then we have Libra. This was then here and was wandering up here in our time. Another, the third side of the open square. Nothing in Leo, but Cancer was wandering now even up to the very, very end of Gemini, the fourth and last side of the open square, nothing in Taurus. But you need two different times, Sodom and Egypt. Let's go forward. The next date in our list is his baptism date, 4th of September, AD 27. So where has the moon been at that date? The moon was exactly in Pisces. In that year, in the year 27 AD, look at that, the point of the equinox was directly in the rising fish. But today, the equinox point is here, exactly where the moon was, in the laying fish. So we are all baptized into the death and into the resurrection of Jesus Christ. The lying fish is the dead fish. The rising fish is the resurrected fish. So we have exactly these two equinox points involved. And Jesus was baptized as an example of our death to sin, and he was resurrected as our example of the resurrection of a new creature without committing sin. So here we have the perfect witness with the moon activated on the baptism day. But where was the sun? And the sun was again in Virgo, and very, very near even to the other equinox point. Yeah? So here we have the first time we have both candlesticks activated. The moon in Pisces and the sun in Virgo, between the two equinox points of these two candlesticks. Incredible, isn't it? We had now the two candlestick points, and now we come finally, we must have the 3 points in Jesus' crucifixion. So now comes the real test, because this is also the date that is mentioned directly in Revelation 11, crucifixion, where also their Lord was crucified. So this is now May 25, year AD 31. And this is exactly here on the galactic equator amidst the enemy constellations, Ophiuchus, Sagittarius, and Scorpius. The Father, Sagittarius A star, marked here in the heart of Jesus. The full moon of Gethsemane shining directly on the crossing of the ecliptic and the galactic equator. So this is something what we found out before, but we did not have the understanding of the equinox and solstice points being the witnesses. Who witnessed this? Yeah, okay, here. Here is the solstice point of Sagittarius in the year 31. Sagittarius, with its solstice point, witnessed the crucifixion of Christ. Yes, and there was the sun. Look at that. In the other tree, we had the tree of the cross of Jesus just seen on one point, on one side of the galactic equator. Now we see the sun on the other side of the galactic equator, but not exactly on the galactic equator, but on Jesus' club. And Jesus' club we deciphered already in the loosening of the four winds as one of the trees. Club is made of wood, and that's the other side of the wood. Another witness of the crucifixion of Jesus is, of course, Orion with his club, the resurrected Jesus, as you will see in a moment. So we have now the activation of the two trees. From now on, the two trees exist exactly from the point on when Jesus was crucified. We have the two trees. Jesus resurrected on the 27th of May. Where has the sun gone? The sun went now directly to the galactic equator, where we have now also the solstice point. In Gemini, what was Gemini witnessing? The resurrection of Jesus, of course. Can you see it? We have a very important Bible verse in Luke 24, which reads, "And it came to pass, as they were much perplexed thereabout," at the resurrection of Jesus, "behold, two men stood by them in shining garments,